The year is 2045. Night City is the hive of activity on the West Coast, and the mysterious disappearance of the Golden Gate Bridge remains unsolved. In world news, BTS officially announced their bid for presidency, making them the second septet ever to run for official office. In Night City, burglaries are on the rise in the warehouse district. The temperature is 83 degrees, sunny with a burst of wave trains along the coast after 6 p.m. Welcome, everybody.
We're back.
We're back, baby!
It's happening.
I can't believe it.
Can't keep us away.
I can't believe it either, but here we are. That's super cool.
I can't wait to remember how to
Your
do
voice?
a Brooklyn accent and a Midwestern accent and occasionally a Deep Woods Maine accent at the very same time.
It's gonna be great.
Excellent. So what have all your characters been doing since let's say a week in game since we've talked?
Well, Vango Bango has been kind of just rethinking his online persona after last time. I think he was a little bit upset that he couldn't stream his very cool end game moves, and so he's decided that people seem to appreciate his roguish nature of going into unlocked doors, and has decided to rebrand a little bit into something a little bit more puckish, but he still doesn't have the charisma to follow through with that.
Excellent. What about Dasha?
Dasha has been trying as much as she can to suppress any footage that Vango Bango streamed last week. She doesn't necessarily want to be associated with it. Other than that, she's been back on that grind and kind of thinking about what promise she could extract from Hypo someday.
Excellent. What about old Burger Chainz?
Burger Chainz bought a boat on eBay, and he doesn't know where he's gonna keep that thing moored. He told Vango that he bought a boat and he's thinking about living on it, and Vango is like, "Where are you gonna keep that moored?" And he said, "The beach." So he's got a boat and a van now.
Do we
That's
know
great.
the dock situation at Night City?
It's on the water. It is on the coast. In fact, I have a map I can send you guys later.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it is because it's like an LA equivalent, so it is on the water. But
But
water,
mooring's got to be pretty expensive there.
Yeah, it certainly must.
They won't even let Vango Bango into cyber Santa Monica.
So the boat is parked on the street in front of his apartment.
So Burger Chainz now can live either in his van or in his boat, both of which are in the
Does
same
the
place.
boat have a robot Keanu Reeves equivalent in it, or is it not cyber?
It's got a robot Roy Scheider in it.
Oh no! I could
Stop
not do-
doing this to Jenna.
Vango Bango immediately Googles who Roy Scheider is.
So does God, which is who I am.
It is attached to the ball hitch of the van, so it's going anywhere we're going.
Oh my god.
Great.
Amazing. That's great energy to start this off with. Okay. So, Burger Chainz, you get a call from your old friend Hypo. Burgers! Oh, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm out here making moves. I got a boat. Things are looking up for old BC.
Oh, man, I love to hear that. Listen, you guys did me such a good turn last week, helping me solve all those problems so discreetly.
I recall everything that happened as if it were 7 to 8 months ago.
Yeah, me too, man. My memory's shot. He says, yeah, listen, I got a friend who works, he does security for a warehouse, and he said they had a little bit of a break-in. Nothing, like, super big. You guys are maybe not big-time enough to get, like, the real cool stuff, but I thought you guys would maybe be good for help him out? That's something you seem interested in?
Let me get the whole group on. Let me hit the group chat and see if anybody's down real quick. So I take out my what's it called, a scout, an agent, and I doop, and I text Dasha and Vango. I say, do you guys want in?
Want in? I text back.
Vango immediately says yes.
In? I text in 5 more times with a question mark on each one.
And I text back, "Hey Vango, love to hear from you again, pal. So just Van 15 minutes? Question mark."
I type back K, period.
In?
And then I
In
put
your
then my
van?
phone runs out of battery.
I am curious. I do want to know what he's doing. Oh, do I know where his van is probably parked?
I think you probably
Van?
do.
I think
Van
canonically, I think
in?
anytime I think you know where my van is generally better than me. I think a lot of times I will text you to ask where I parked my van.
That makes sense. I am tracking you.
Usually right outside of Dasha's apartment because she's the only one with an actual
I lean out
apartment.
the window of my apartment and I shout, "In?" And then I come downstairs. I rap on the door of Burger Chainz' van.
And I explain that we have a warehouse job.
What kind of warehouse job?
There's been a couple of break-ins over at one of Hypo's pals. He's got one of those connections, a job connection for us for picking a security detail in a house of procurement, and we got to watch a warehouse.
I'm wondering if you asked him this time if he has any money to pay us.
Just then you get a text from Hypo with an with an address, and it says, "Yeah, he says, yeah, my buddy Edgar just wants you to check out and see if you can find the culprits. They have money," and then it's just like $8 signs.
Ooh, okay, hell yeah.
$8 signs. I'll do it.
Vango Bango appears as if from nowhere, just streaming while walking backwards towards the van, being like, "What's up, guys? Vango Bango back on another classic thing. I don't 100% know what we're doing yet, but you can always expect the good content from my channel, and that's why you follow and subscribe to jumptrash.net."
A real domain.
Then I
That you should
real
go
domain. I imagine Vango Bango just bumps into Burger Chainz as he's walking backwards.
I pick up Vango Bango and I hug him.
Aw.
That is cute.
I'd cut the stream off immediately.
So, what do you say we hop in the old van/boat and cruise on down to, what's this guy's name? And I look. I need to look at my phone again and find out what this guy's name is. Who are we working for? Edgar.
Your phone is
Hyper
dead.
called him Edgar, yeah.
Edgar. That's okay. I plug my phone into my cigarette lighter adapter in my van, and I say, hop in.
So you show up at a warehouse and there's a man waiting for you up front, who looks, I would say, aggressively nondescript. You might say he looks like an NPC.
Great.
He's wearing overalls and like business overalls, and he's got like a buzz cut and a very generic face. But he looks very stern. He looks very responsible, and he's got his arms crossed and he's waiting for you up front. And he sees your van pull up and he just nods. Yes, these look like people Hypo would send to me.
Hello, I'm Dapper Dasha, and these are my companions. How are you doing today?
I'm very pleased to meet you. He
Pleased to meet you as well.
sees Mango flash that sign and just goes, "Yep. All right. My name's Edgar Marshall. Welcome. How much did Hypo tell you?"
Burger received the initial message, and what I got from that was a little bit garbled, but I understand you're having some burglaries here?
Burger?
Burger, my associate, Mr. Chainz.
It's funny. It's that you're having burglaries, and you've summoned Burger.
No.
A burglary. I've never done
The
one.
client's problems aren't funny, Burger. The client's problems aren't funny.
They're a little funny if you think about if you think about that angle on it. But go
Edgar,
on.
It is a
Edgar
little
does
bit
not laugh,
funny.
but he nods and says, "Yeah, that is funny."
That's fair. Okay.
You get the impression he doesn't think it's funny, but he doesn't think it's not funny.
That's.
He
I
wa-
mean, listen. That's the best I can ask for with most of my content.
He says, "So, welcome to Bessemer Cosmetics Warehouse. This is where we warehouse all of the goods that will eventually be sent to Bessemer Cosmetic stores. It's not a big warehouse, but it's my warehouse, and I take a lot of responsibility for it. I don't know anything about makeup, but I know a lot about security, which is why this problem has me really flustered."
Vango Bango, now that he's trying to rebrand as somebody cooler, walks up while streaming and says, "Hey, don't worry, Edgar. That's why you've chosen the 3 most competent people in all of Night City. We are here to make sure things go well, and if they get a little crazy, that's just how it is."
Get a little crazy.
And then I'm looking.
And there you have
What
it.
does that mean? Okay.
I stopped streaming after.
Okay. He
I
nods.
assure you that the last time we took a job, I only hit one guy with a bar stool.
The reason that Hypo sent us is because we did take care of a little problem for him, and we did it very discreetly. I'm sure you haven't even heard of it. So we would love to help you with this little issue that you're having, for a fee, of course.
Of course, we are prepared to pay you for
Excellent.
a solution here, because I'll admit, I worked in security a long time. I'm a little bit at wit's end with what's happening here.
I'm sure you're doing the absolute best you can.
Thank you. Thank you, Dasha. So he lays down what happened. Basically, a small selection of makeup has gone missing. It doesn't look like a big, large-scale job. It looks like probably somebody with a duffel bag came in and filled the duffel bag and ran off with a bunch of makeup. What's confusing them is that basically all of their video cameras went down at once. And so he hands you over like a very small Betamax cartridge. So the cartridge he hands over to you has an icon, a logo on it that you guys recognize as being the logo for a security company called Harpco. It's not the biggest security company in Night City, that's Lazarus Security, but it's very, very well known because they very aggressively market to like home security, even though the majority of their contracts are with like larger businesses. But they're recognizable because their logo is a harp, but instead of having strings, it has a chain link fence. And
Okay.
and their motto is "Even heaven has a gate."
Fucking great.
Yeah. And here's the video he sends you. He says, "This is the last video that we got before the entire network of cameras went down."
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
So Vango, I'm gonna do a real quick cyber tech check, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I want to just take a look at this and see. Basically, my concept is that Vango knows a shit ton about video stuff, and so he's gonna check through this and see if there's any like post processing being done to it, or if it's like clear and like if there's anything he can gain from it.
Cool. Roll for me.
That was a 10. I could.
You rolled a
I mean,
10?
This doesn't say anything. Obviously, I could have moved it, but it is a 10. It was a first roll of the time is a 10.
That's great. Because it's a critical success, you also get to roll it a second time and add that as well.
Cool. So that was a 10 plus a 9, so 19 plus my tech, which is another 9, so 28 plus 5 for cyber tech, so 30. I just wasted all of my good luck on this first dumbass roll.
That's great, actually. I had information on this that you could only get if you rolled super well, and I was like, they won't roll well.
Hey, Burger, do you know how to do that whole zoom and enhance thing?
Becca looks dead at him and says, "Did you just call me by your name?" Is that like, I know you're I can't do that.
Burger, can you do that?
Thing. I can't do that, Burger. Chainz. I can't.
Hey,
do
that's
that.
my name. I was saying my name to you.
I can't. The zooming in it. You know what? I'm too smart for this. And then I just go back to like learning about this thing while looking at it.
Spectacular. All right, so you review the footage, and basically it looks like it based on just like the image, which is just the recording of the camera, not the camera itself. You get the impression that that the light pattern did something to the camera, and if you ask Edgar, he will tell you that basically what happened is all of the cameras rebooted at once for reasons they're unsure of, and while they were rebooting, that's when the people came in and stole everything. But you also, looking at the video, you managed to quote unquote enhance it a little bit by lightening the screen image. And when you do that, you see there's actually a second figure. There's one person holding up some sort of square box that seems to be what the light is emitting from. And then behind them a little bit, there seems to be a second person sort of waiting for them to do this.
Okay. So I turn to Edgar and I say, all right, so this is, I can understand why you'd be confused. You have to be very smart to understand this. But basically somebody probably came in here with a piece of technology that jammed all of your systems by emitting a specific code or something via light. But it does seem like it wasn't just a one-person job. There was at least 2 people who were doing this.
Well, that's mighty weird, but not unbelievable. I guess our bigger question is, I mean, obviously we want to know what happened to our cameras so that we can stop it, but also why they only took what they took, which was just not a lot of makeup. And in fact, he sends you a manifest of the items that were stolen.
Edgar, can I ask how long it takes the cameras to reboot?
It takes, he thinks for a moment, he says, it takes about like 5 to 10 minutes, depending. They're all networked together.
Long-ass time.
Well, we normally don't reboot them, and when we do, we don't normally reboot them all at once, at night, when there are very few people in the factory, or in the warehouse.
Fair point.
Yeah. He also mentions, so we don't have a lot of on-staff security. Because it's a cosmetic company, as I'm certain you're all aware, they're used to people trying to rob their warehouses, but normally when people do it, they're wearing like AI deceiving makeup, makeup artists these days. But that doesn't seem to be the case here, which is mighty weird. But all of our cameras are top of the line because, well, that's the enemy that we're fighting here. Makeup artists.
I'm reading through the manifesto. Again, not very much here, but it's all very like high fashion, sort of like very flashy. It's not just like simple makeup. It's like you 3D print beauty marks, which is amazing.
Were all of these items stored close to each other in the warehouse, or did they have to run around to a lot of different places to find them?
Stored in a couple different places. It's a variety of different companies, so they weren't all clumped together necessarily, but they were very efficient in going for what they were looking for. I have reason to suspect that they still knew a lot about makeup, but they just didn't seem to be trying to pull one over on our AI.
I want to roll to see if I know anything about these brands. My assumption is that would be cool, plus maybe local expert or human perception.
Local expert is no local area, local factions, agendas. Education is no science, history, trivia, current events. So probably education makes more sense.
Yeah, weirdly,
Education.
I think it does. Yeah. And can you argue for any bonuses that you think Dapper would have?
Coming from a high-class background, as I do, I've potentially, if these are high-status brands, use them. Can't afford them anymore. Shame for me, if so. But I definitely have experience with makeup in my life.
Yeah.
On a personal level, if not a professional one.
I think that's fair. Go ahead and give me a roll.
17?
Okay, that's a very good roll. So I'll give you some information, but I don't think you get the full. So what exactly were you trying to get from this list?
I want to know what kind of people like this brand is marketed to and what kind of people would naturally be seeking out this makeup.
Okay, so to your some of the products here jump out at you as things that you do recognize, but it's sort of a mix. Some of these are just like very nice but just classic makeup. So a lot of the things on the list are just like, it's like long wear foundation, or it's like eyeshadow. It's just very straightforward makeup that one would use. But some of it pops out at you, like the Vanta Black Full Spectrum Dense Shader is like very, very, very expensive and very high end, and is used, like a lot of these look like they're things that you would use in AI scamming makeup styles.
So what they've taken here is an interesting mix of just your basic bitch makeup, plus these luxury brands that are very, very specific. I noticed a lot of them, well, obviously makeup has colors, so makeup has a lot to do with colors in general, but some of these very specifically seem to do with manipulating light, which is sort of what happened in this robbery, isn't it?
I mean, maybe they don't need to have all of the, like, they weren't going for the huge score right now since they only were able to shut down the cameras to reboot for a little time, and they're getting all the materials so they can do bigger heists later.
Bigger heists here or bigger heists somewhere else?
I mean, I'll suggest you, Edgar, do a better job of putting some security on this warehouse.
Van Gogh!
I'm
Wow.
just saying, like, if you
Whoa.
want my specific advice, you invited us here to say things, so...
We are, sorry, we're here to solve a mystery of a burglary, not to advise on this kind man's security protocol, this kind man who's paying us many security protocols.
I mean, it's, yeah, but
Bango,
he could
bango.
do better, so... I don't
I'm
see why it's a
sure-
crime for me to tell him that he could do better at his job.
He looks, his face is still stoic, but you get the impression he's slightly wounded. He says,
You hurt?
Yeah. How about I do my job and you guys figure out who did this?
Yeah, okay.
Are you crying a little bit there?
No.
It's okay if you are.
Oh. He nods and he sniffles a little and he says, I'm not. Let me show you to the break-in site.
Thank you.
And he walks you.
So grateful.
He walks you over to the actual location where they seem to have broken in. It's clearly, very clearly, like the fence has been clipped open. And just as a reminder for the audience, anytime you hear any sirens or bell chimes in the background of my audio, that's just Night City. That's just Night City flavor. We've purposely added that in post to give it texture.
Yeah.
It's simply what it sounds like.
That's what the city sounds like. This warehouse is near Clock Tower.
What material is this fence made of?
It's just regular chain link fence. It looks very sturdy, and this seems to be the only hole in it.
So just like the logo, huh?
Well, it's just like a chain link fence. So yeah, just like the logo.
Yeah, I think I want to do a perception on just this general thing. So for that purpose, I am accidentally reopening Slack because I misclicked. I'm sorry, my brain just completely paralyzed itself. 9.
It's 20 even. It's 9
Thank
plus 8
you.
plus 3. Yeah. So that's a good roll. A 20 is a very good roll. So you're looking around the area. You can tell that there's like somebody clipped it open and walked through here and walked through around to the warehouse. But as you bend down and inspect the chain link fence opening a little bit more, you find a very, very tiny smear of makeup that seems to have been like scratched off as they ducked through. I have included a makeup sample in the video
good.
file.
This is a beautiful shade. So they wore makeup to do this robbery, to steal more makeup, and they used some kind of light to shut off the cameras. But why wear makeup if you weren't going to be seen? I turned to Vango Bango and checked to see if he's streaming
Maybe
right
it's
now.
not for the cameras, you know? Maybe it's for them.
Well, that's very pretty to think so, Pat Burger. whoever you are.
There's no way that Dasha can tell what brand of makeup this thing is, right? It's just been scraped off
Probably
on it.
not. I don't think so.
God, it would be
But what
really hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be
never,
the
that-
rule
that's
if I could.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, a
I do
wild
love
thing.
I do love the idea of Dasha like, oh, why?
Yeah.
This is-
I bend down and I smell the makeup. What does it smell like? Does it have a...
It has a vaguely vanilla scent. It's a nice quality makeup.
This is lovely. I would like to know what brand this is. Is Edgar still here?
Yes. He sees you
He
do
doesn't
that.
know anything about makeup.
He sees you sniff the makeup and just like he's grappling with how little he knows about the product that he supervises.
As an investigator, of course, I have to use all 5 or 6, if that's how many senses I have. And brands often use distinctive scents for their product, of course.
Oh yeah. I see.
That being said, I don't know what this one is. Could you see anything of the figures in your enhanced footage, Vango Bango? Could you see any identifying features or colors on them? Makeup, for example?
Could I?
No,
Sorry.
they were behind the light, so they were really cast in shadow. Let me think about one of the silhouettes has like a pretty large hair, and that's the only like really identifying feature.
Yeah.
Which
okay.
one had large hair?
The person not holding the box with the light.
Gotcha. Burger, do you have anything
No, I
to
just
do
like
here?
where this is going. I just like where this is going.
That's all. He's just
Yeah.
he's just enjoying the ride. No, so you look at. I mean, I can only bump the brightness so much. It looks like the one person has, a slightly, like a bigger silhouette around their hair. It looks like, I mean, if they're wearing makeup for a heist and they have a good hair, then maybe they're doing this for, I mean, I stream stuff, so why wouldn't they be also trying to, like, I don't know, maybe they're like gentlemen robbers or something, and they just want to make a name for themselves in their little weird heists.
If you were looking for footage or live streams of this kind of robbery, where would you go?
Well, I turn on my streaming. Of course, I'd go to jumptrash.net first, where all of the best content is. But yeah, let me do a little check.
yeah, and then
to
after
see.
that, where would you go?
Crimes.com. I think crimes.com is the one that I usually go to.
There is a let's say competitor to jumptrash.net called WeWire that does have also videos on it, but jumptrash.net is a great place to start.
All right, so I check my I turn on my agent and I'm starting to check jumptrash.net, and then in an incognito tab, so that way they don't think that I'm going to WeWire. I would never let anyone know that. I check out WeWire as well, and I'm just going to do a local expert check on this. Does that seem right?
Yeah.
So that's 22.
Okay, that's a good check. Give me a sample of what like your search terms are.
So I'm searching just the most wild choices. I've already have like 7 or 8 tabs open, but with different things, and I'm just kind of aggregating them all, and they're like things like good hair thief and light that in quotes light reboot, and then a bunch of other things about different stuff with the
Harpco, yeah.
And like I'm also just checking a couple blogs about like Harpco noted backdoors, and so I'm just going through each of those things for WeWire and for jumptrash.net.
Great. Okay, so you rolled very well, and you search a lot of different search terms to look for things that might be relevant, but you don't get a single useful result.
Okay, so there's really this is. It seems like, and I mean, kind of a bad choice on their part if they're trying to make content. They did not try to actually put this online. They are keeping it on the DL. Obviously, if it were me, I probably would have tried to stream it, because I think, again, people would be into that kind of stuff. It's a missed opportunity on their part, but nothing from here.
You do find
Yes,
you do find a lot of makeup artists from the region, so you do find like a lot of people doing makeup artist videos,
Cool.
but just
Do
nothing.
I find
that
any?
falls
I was gonna say, do I find any makeup artists teaching you how to do anti-face tracking stuff?
Not really. Not on WeWire or JumpTrash.net.
Cool. Just want to double check.
Do any of the makeup artists you find have big hair?
Couple of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, some of them.
But that's just I make notes of those people to go for fashion inspo later.
Excellent.
Well, it strikes me that maybe not everyone wants to make content.
I pop open my agent, and I navigate to the WeWire pages of a couple of those people, and I type in the comment the same message on all of their stuff. Haha, good video. Hit me up. Unrelated. Do any good crimes lately? Hit me up. Here's my phone number, and I put my phone number on the internet.
Amazing. So Burger Chainz just dropped a comment on a bunch of videos asking about crimes and then put his phone number on the internet. I'm certain nothing will ever come from that in a future episode of Cyberpunk Red.
No.
All right. Edgar, could you show us where the things were taken from?
Sure. He leads you into the warehouse. It's a very nondescript warehouse. It's a very automated warehouse, so there's a lot of like robots hauling things around on the shelves. And he leads you to a couple spots, and he's like, yeah, here's where some of the mirror makeup was, and here's where this makeup was. And it all looks like, for the most part, it was just somebody just like opened boxes and grabbed a couple of things and then moved on.
They didn't even take the whole boxes. They did it specifically. Like, just literally, I'm just double checking that the amount of things that are lost are single units, not like a full box of that thing.
Yeah, for the most part, it's just like they were just like grabbing like a handful of things.
Wow.
And it looks like
Okay.
very specific handfuls, but
So they
Yeah,
intentionally
alright.
opened several boxes, grabbed a couple of each of the products that they wanted, and then left after going through the trouble to reboot every single camera in this warehouse.
Yeah.
Who would want to do something like that?
it's a great question.
When
And why?
Edgar, when the cameras came back online, the people were already gone, right?
Yeah.
How long did that take?
About he like pulls up his agent and double checks, and he says 8 minutes. That's a random number. I've just pulled that up. 8
Nice.
minutes.
Okay.
I
8
love
minutes. That's good.
Yeah.
Those cameras really should be faster rebooting if they're security grade, but that's not my business. I guess.
Edgar agrees.
Do you know what kind of vehicle they arrived in, or did they come on foot?
He doesn't know.
All right.
Yeah, and your searches at the site showed footprints, but those footprints just sort of led off onto the street, so you don't know.
Hey, who works here, Edgar? Is it just you, or is there any other people?
He says it's mostly him. There are a few other people that cover security shifts, but again, for the most part, they are relying on the camera technology in order to be both preventative and to be able to catch whoever is there.
Was the robbery discovered when the cameras came back online, or was it discovered the next day?
Yeah, he thinks about that. They were discovered the next day when we came in and saw the anomaly on the footage.
So
The anomaly being just a blank spot.
So they basically had ample time to go through these boxes and then just walk out into the streets of Night City and be completely unsuspected.
Yeah, Edgar looks offended and he says, yeah, but you don't have to rub it in my face.
I'm just sorry. I'm just trying to get the facts straight because I'm investigating this for you.
I understand. I respect that.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm just doing exposition, okay, man?
I'll say that Burger's been quiet because he's completely out of his element right now, and he's just sort of like looking around the warehouse thinking about what things he could jump off of if he wanted to. Just things that he could climb and jump off of.
Yeah, as you're thinking that, you get a ring, you get a buzz on your agent of a text message.
Hey, I got a text message here. Should I
When
look
did
at
you
it?
find time to charge your fucking phone, Burger?
Right over.
On the car right over.
I got a full 5% on here. We're good for a while. So I pop open that text message and I read it.
The first message you get just says, "LOL, you shouldn't put your phone on the internet." The second message you get says, "I know."
Hang on. I respond to that first message.
Okay.
If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have made a great new friend. How are you?
There's a really, really long pause, and it looks like somebody started to type and then stops, and then starts again, and then stops, and then it starts up again. You got me there.
and,
Oh, wow.
and then I read the second text message.
The second text message says, "I know somebody who's a makeup artist and a robber. She lives at M House." And then the message sends you an address of a place called M House.
Yes, Burger, you're raising your hand.
Does anyone
Yes.
know about M House?
It's a great question.
Do I know about M House?
Yeah, do any of you, this is probably either Dasha or Vango, do either of you,
Vango, yeah.
A, follow makeup artists, or B, I mean, it would be worth checking
Yeah.
around.
I have probably seen it a few times on the in the forums. I've heard mention of M House.
Yes, yeah.
But I got a lot of forums to check. So
That's fair. Yeah. If you guys want to give me a roll, I can tell you more information.
yeah, I'll give you a local expert for that. 4, so 18.
Okay. God, 18. That's very impressive. I'm gonna have
Damn,
to up
got a lot of
increase the
intelligence.
difficulty of all of your rolls.
Yeah, it's just very lucky that you have never asked me to do something cool.
Nobody ever has.
Nope.
Excellent. So with an 18, you know that M House is like a streamer house, basically, of makeup artists that all live in like the same house. And they sort of participate in each other's videos, and it's a whole group of people that live together in this house and do makeup.
I can picture
and-
the wall-to-wall carpeting and white painted walls now.
Yes,
Bare
the
white
stark,
painted walls.
empty rooms lacking in furniture.
The way this happens is that I hear Burger Chainz say M House, and then there's a pause, and then it clicks, and I think, those assholes wouldn't accept my application to join. I told them that I was a good streamer, and then they wouldn't. Let's go fuck their shit up.
Excellent. So yeah, what you know about them as a group is that they cover like a wide variety of different styles of makeup. But they are all led, like the house is founded by one of the most popular makeup artists in Night City. Her online handle is MUA, EM-UA, and her real name is Emanuela Yang. And she's like the ringleader of the house. So you have this address, are you gonna go visit them?
Absolutely.
As soon as Vango Bango realizes that it's M House, he does not even say goodbye to Edward. He just is immediately out. He just is walked away.
Good, because his name is Edgar. I'm
Edgar.
glad you're not speaking him
okay,
anymore.
then never mind. I say, okay, goodbye, Edwin, and then I leave.
We are gonna jump on that hot lead, and we'll be back with answers for you. Client Edgar.
He nods and says, "I trust you guys. This has been
Thank you.
been a rough day for Edgar."
To be honest, that's nice, but we only just met, and I don't know if we've earned that from you yet.
But we're about to earn it 10 times over. Have
I'm
a great
just saying,
day.
Dasha,
and I grab Burger's arm.
So you guys follow this address. It takes you to just like a different area, not like a very high-end area, but like a decently safe area of Night City. And they live in like a nice little squat house. It doesn't look too big, but it looks big enough to house the, God, I should have figured out how many there were exactly. I think seven people, 7 makeup artists that live in this building.
Now, before we go in there, we should probably come up with... We don't want to walk in like we're accusing them of robbing a warehouse. So... and we also don't want them to think that we respect Vango Bango too much, since they've rejected him already.
Vango is on his agent right now, seeing if he can go through and delete any messages that he has
Wonderful.
sent to them or has at all, and is like making sure. I think there's one specific person. I don't think it's the head of it, but there is one person that I have emailed a few times to discuss the potential for a collaboration, and have had no responses.
Let's go in with some kind of plan for maybe we want to hire one of them for something, or maybe we want information on the makeup scene, like maybe for a magazine or something. What do you think?
I mean, Vango, you're always trying to get sponsored, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm always looking to get sponsored. I just feel weird going into a competitor that will refuse to acknowledge my existence. I don't...
I have a wonderful idea. What if we want a makeover for Vango Bango, and we want to sort of audition them to see which one would do the best job, and there's some kind of cash prize, but we can sort of wave that off and imply that there's a wealthy sponsor to this, and we can see their skills, see what kind of makeup they have when they're applying it to Vango Bango, and maybe ask some questions along the way.
I mean, that's an okay idea insofar as that hopefully they're all clever enough makeup artists to know that I already have my aesthetic is perfect so far. I think they would reject that, considering they know that there's really nothing better to do to me for my content. So I mean, we'll see if they'll take that.
Okay, yeah, I'm very curious to see what they're going to say to that. Yeah, good point, Vango. Does anyone have a better plan?
Dasha, personally, I've never heard a better plan in my entire life, and I can't wait to get going with it. Are we gonna do
compliment.
characters? Are we gonna have characters?
Why don't you just be yourself, and I will be a TV producer, cyber TV producer, and Vango will be himself. I think that's probably the best plan.
And why am I here then? Is the question. Like
Oh, you're my bodyguard. His bodyguard. You're someone's bodyguard.
I can do
Sure.
that.
Not like a cameraman or something. No, bodyguard. Yeah.
But,
Well,
I'll be Manhattan GameStop, your bodyguard / camera operator.
I'm kind of into it. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, Manhattan
sure.
Manhattan, and your name. Hey, what's your name?
Manhattan GameStop.
That's right. Vango, what's his name?
It's Manhattan GameStop. It's a fucking dumb name.
Well, I think it's a great name. Let's do this!
Excellent. All right.
Nobody else is gonna have fake names. What the fuck?
Well, Dasha has
Well,
already.
Vango can't.
Look, I can't because I've already. Yeah, I'll have the same name, I guess. But okay, yeah, I'll have the same name. That's fine.
I will be Gina, spelled G-N-A.
Love it.
Sign, S-I-N-E.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great cyberpunk name.
Thanks.
You think people in
All
the cyberpunk future would just stand around saying, "Hey, that's a good cyberpunk name"?
I hope so. If not, I don't want to live there.
Now, Manhattan GameStop. What's my name?
I just stare off into space because I don't recognize being called this Manhattan GameStop yet.
That's probably good enough. If he's not responding, that means he's not implicating us in any sort of lie. So
Yeah. Okay.
take what I can get.
Manhattan GameStop. Just be the strong silent type for this one, okay? Don't try to make friends with anyone. Just kind of keep it,
Please don't
How
try
you
to
were
make
doing.
friends with anyone.
please.
Nope.
For once in your goddamn life, don't try to make friends with anyone.
I can't make any promises. I know how upset it would make you if I messed this up for you, so I'm gonna try.
Thank you.
I walk immediately to the front door, and I try to open it. I assume it's locked, and so then I knock on it.
I'm running after him.
Yeah, there's a pause from inside, and you hear like some shuffling, and somebody walks to the door, and the door swings open, and you see a woman who does not look like she's wearing any makeup. She just has like a very plain face with like a lot of freckles on it, and she opens the doors and she says, "Hey guys, welcome to M House," and that's where the episode ends.